Now, Libya's ex-leader Colonel Gaddafi is vowing his supporters will continue to fight rebel forces.
In Paris, though, the National Transitional Council has met international diplomats who are continuing to help with the move to democracy with the unfreezing of billions more dollars in Libyan funds. Our Europe correspondent Emma Alberici joins us now from Paris. Good morning, Emma. Thanks for joining us. I understand there's been a couple of major diplomatic victories overnight. Russia's now recognised the NTC and Algeria has said it will recognise the rule of the NTC and deny Gaddafi an escape route.
Indeed, and also we saw China and India arrive here and be represented at this international conference, which in itself was also highly significant because these are all together with Russia and indeed Algeria. They were countries that did not support NATO's military intervention. So, yes, a significant round of sudden about-faces in this whole tumultuous few months of fighting in Libya. But of course, against a backdrop of some very lucrative oil and reconstruction projects that are up for grabs, not necessarily here in Paris, but certainly in the coming months. The next conference is said to be going to be held in New York in September, when they'll further talk about how exactly they go about reconstructing Libya beyond getting together some sort of political framework.
So, Emma, did you notice a jockeying for position for those sort of post-war contracts for the reconstruction process?
Well, it's important to note that Russia's sudden change of heart in acknowledging the National Transitional Council has to, in some respects, be attributed to the fact that they have very significant oil interests within Libya, being a very oil-rich country. And so I guess there have been suggestions here today that their change of heart has had a lot to do with the fact that they have just so many interests to protect within Libya. I spoke to Craig Emerson, Australia's acting foreign minister, who represented Australia here. He said he didn't think it was appropriate to be scrambling for those sorts of post-conflict contracts in this environment where the discussion should, in his view and in Australia's view, governmentally, be more about the immediate humanitarian concerns because, of course, we know the fighting continues and could be about to get quite a bit more bloody as they make their advance, the rebels, into Sirte. So Craig Emerson said there was a role for Australian companies. He made that clear, but that in the immediate term he didn't think it was appropriate to discuss exactly what form Australia would take in its ability to send companies to Libya to help in the reconstruction, though he did say that was on the cards. Australia did make an announcement here today. It has pledged 4.6 million Australian dollars to the International Red Cross specifically to help distribute clean water to Libya and to help find undetonated explosive devices that still lay around areas around the city and elsewhere of Tripoli.
Emma, Libya's transition to democracy is likely to be lengthy. Has the NTC been able to set out plans on how it is going to stabilise the country?
Well, its most immediate concern is how it will fund the transition to a democracy. There's a roadmap of 18 months that all the delegates here from the 60-plus countries that were represented, they all say they're aiming towards this 18-month time frame towards free and fair elections and some kind of constitution to back those up. Now, Hillary Clinton was one who came today and, interestingly, took quite a back seat because this was a conference hosted by France and Britain, although she did talk about how pleased she was to see the National Transitional Council receive the Allies' support in the way it had been intended.
The Libyans were very responsive to the long list of ideas that were presented throughout the day, and I was impressed by their openness, and they still have a huge hill to climb here. They don't yet have their whole country secure, but they are working with the international community to secure both chemical weapon stockpiles as well as conventional weapons. They are taking action against extremism wherever they find it. So I guess in general, I would have to say that today's meeting validated the confidence that all the other nations around the table had placed in the TNC.
Hillary Clinton giving some encouragement to the NTC in Paris overnight. Emma Alberici, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We'll have to leave it there.
Thank you.